is your bubbly and beautiful host, Elizabeth. It's the Caffeinated Cooper Show.
Yeah, I believe I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happiness.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am again really excited to start up another brand new show, and we're going to learn so much. And I have a wonderful author. She is highly degreed. She's a beautiful, wonderful woman. She is connected very patiently with us, and we are going to get to her in just a moment. Her name is Tanya Miller. Now, I want to talk about a sponsor. And I'm actually going to bring their website live because they have some cool things, some cool offers going on their website right now. You can go to None Life because these are the products right here. They've expanded their brand, and I'm quite excited to see that they've expanded their brand. They have a full new hydration kit on nonelife.com. You can also get them at a plethora of different stores. We're going to get to that in just a minute. So this is water flavoring. Let me try a little bit of my water flavoring here and get my tongue to want to work within my mouth to spit out all these words. So the hydration is a full kit. And what I love about this is that it gives you everything that you possibly need in one kit. They have another kit here, as you can see in the background. This is your Active Hydration Essentials Kit. And you get a really nice reusable water bottle, and you get to try all of the different flavors. Some of them are energized. The ones in black that you see here in the background, those have caffeine. And the ones in white, I believe, do not have caffeine. But either way, you are getting a full package of 20 milligrams of ginseng, a blend of B vitamins. So you have B12, B6, caffeine that's sourced from green tea. It's vegan, gluten-free, and a great source of electrolytes. So you can go to nonelife.com, which is exactly where we are here in the background. That's NUUNLIFE.com to get 20% off of your order today. However, you can now join the rewards program. And that is quite interesting. You can see here that they have a rewards tab at the top. So just click that and you'll be able to find out more about the None loyalty program. And you can purchase these. All right, you ready for this? You can purchase these at Walmart, Publix, Kroger, Walgreens, and many other locations. I am so excited to see a company expand and be able to be more and more accessible to the masses. It's also available on Amazon and, of course, nonelife.com. You're going to be able to get the very best deal with 20% off. So thank you so much to the people at None Life to be one of our sponsors here of this show. Now, I have Tanya Miller, and Tanya Miller is certified life coach with over 18 years of experience working with youth, young adults, and women throughout the community and in ministry to pursue purpose, passion, vision, and destiny. A graduate with a BBA in finance and business management from Northwood University and an MBA from Regent University. She is also certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt and Scrum Master. She is the owner of Tanya J. Miller, LLC, where she is an accomplished author, motivational speaker, life coach, and leadership strategist. She has been happily married for almost 9 years to Mr. Bernie Miller Jr. and currently lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She is also the author of, and this is only 2 of many books that I'm going to mention. She's the author of Mind Matters, Get Out of Your Head and Jump into Life, and Mind Matters, Get Your Mind Right Journal. As a coach, she motivates, inspires, and encourages hundreds through her blog, Talking with Tanya, which she began in 2005. Mind Matters, the book and journal, further exhibits Tanya's heart and passion for coaching people in purpose, passion, vision, and destiny. As an organizational and leadership strategist, Tanya embodies this as she works with organizations and leaders to project, plan, forecast, and execute strategy timely, effectively, and efficiently. And without any further ado, I'd love to bring to the broadcast Miss Tanya J. Miller. How are you, Tanya?
I'm doing well, Elizabeth. How are you? And hello to the Caffeinated Cooper Show. I'm so excited to be here today, very much so. I do have to say something so I do not get in trouble. I didn't realize it. I've actually been almost married 15 years. I gotta update my sheet.
Yes.
Like, oh my, wow! I didn't know. Nobody ever says that part, so I was like, oh my gosh, let me get that updated real quick, so I don't get in trouble at home.
You know what? I usually don't read about the private life, and usually in the green room, which I didn't mention with you, but it absolutely applies. You know, I want to let everybody know, if you come onto this show, I don't do any yellow journalism. Like, this is your platform to shine, right? And I love that you had that in your bio. I'm like, I gotta add that in. I have to. But congratulations on almost 15 years.
Yeah. It's been a journey, but we've made it, and we're working through everyday challenges, much of what we talked about before when we were in the green room as well. So it's a journey, but we're still working it.
It is. You know, it seems like the longer that you've been in a relationship with someone, the more you realize so much of it has to do with compatibility. And that mature love is something totally different than like all the hearts and the kisses on Valentine's Day and what people like try to make it seem. It's not that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that thing that I would always hear my mom or her friends say, that the person that they were in their 20s isn't the person that they are now in their 30s or 40s or their 50s. And that's not even just with marriage relationships, but it's in friendships, it's in, family relationships. Like, you change. And so sometimes that, that dynamic has to grow and has to change as well, in order for there to be true commitment, compatibility, as you said, and just confirmation that you guys are to walk together in that journey of life. So yeah, it's definitely, I hear my mom and them all the time in my ear, which is why I actually wrote a book about it, because I know we're going to get to it later, but I would talk about her all the time. And so I catch myself like, okay, we haven't got to that part yet. So wait a minute. So I'm catching myself, and I'm throwing it back to you.
You know, it's so interesting. A long time ago, and I'm about to ask you, where your journey began. So we're going to get there. But I love having an actual conversation and grooming that friendship and growing a friendship. And I'm just so thrilled that you get to be here. But I read a long time ago, and I actually heard it in an instance of two. I can be stubborn. So when things hit me with instance of three, where three people have said, you need to go do this, then I'm like, okay, God, okay, you have my attention. All right. What is it you need me to do? Right. But I read how the human body and the psyche is almost cyclical. Every 7 years we go through a cycle.
Oh yeah. That makes
sense. Like, wow. You get to be a point in your life to where you're old enough to be able to look back and go, okay, yeah, I got a couple of instances of 7-year cycles in my adulthood. Wow, that was a different person.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally, as we shared before on the green room, as to why I told you I was completely tired and exhausted, was because my little sister's wedding was yesterday. And I literally saw myself in her, because I was around the same age when I got married, and I'm nowhere near that age now. As I said, we've been married almost 50 years. And so just to see, her where I am and I was, and just wanting to wish them well, and just, God's blessings and everything. So it was just like a moment, like, okay, oh my God, like I feel like the mama or the auntie or something, and I'm not, I'm the sister. But it just felt so memorable in that time. And so, yeah, definitely 7 years, 10 years, 1 year growth is that cyclical, and it's that expansive.
Mm-hmm.
That we literally are changing, and not necessarily changing to where people don't recognize us, but changing to where we're growing by just the things we read, by the people we encounter, by the things we say and see. And so hopefully it's some good growing. It's good seed, as my granny would say. It's good ground.
Right. Absolutely. So, all right. So let's get to that moment to where we're talking about your journey of you are, as I read, you're highly degreed. You help so many people. You're motivational, you're a speaker, you're a life coach. But that didn't just happen overnight, right?
No. I always say my journey started off young. And it came from my dad. Not to say that my mom wasn't very much implemental about it. Like I said, I wrote a whole book about my mama, and I got a volume 2 coming out. So she all by herself in a category. But my dad, growing up, he would always tell us that we're not just here for ourselves. We're not just here by accident or by choice. And that in this life, it's not just us walking alone. It's God the Father walking alongside us. And then it's also those that we are to encounter and that may dissect in our lives or parallel in our walks, or whatever the way may be. We're not to take those passings for granted. And, we have a responsibility even in that. And so the responsibility he said that we had was to be an example, to be a light, to be willing to say yes when nobody else would, and so much more. And so he just reminded us that this walk is not our own, and that we have responsibility to, whether it's care for our brother or our sister that may need a helping hand, or just to say something to them, or encourage somebody, or to just show up, and so that early on teaching about our life is not our own. We're not here just by accident. We have responsibility. We have a role. It echoed itself in every part of my life, whether it was in my teens, whether it was college, dating, it echoed over and over again, because it made me to be a person to where I didn't just take for granted the passing in the road, if you will, with people. I recognize that sometimes, like, you're not just meeting somebody or seeing accidentally running into somebody at the grocery store with your cart. That literally accident was on purpose, if you will. And that on purpose situation is an opportunity in time to where I can be a light in their life, whether it's just saying, hey, how you doing? And smiling, like whatever it is, it's my opportunity. And I choose, and I have chosen to act in those situations where I knew he was calling upon me to be greater than my own circumstance. And that in itself, oh my God, beyond my circumstances, like that happened a whole lot, and it still does. But yeah, that's where it started. And so, when I started blogging, talking with Tanya, what is this, 2000, was it 2005? Was that like 17 years ago? A long time ago. It was that. I was just like, I know there's people that just want a person to be able to understand what they're going through and to connect with them, whatever level they are. They just want them to be real with them about it and help them along the way. And that's where I got my tagline for my blog, helping you figure out. I would say I'm here to help you figure out how to fit the puzzle pieces of life together so that you can do life right and well. That's where I was like, I just wanted to figure it out. Like, that was it. And so the blog started, but even before then, I was helping, doing tutoring, for people trying to pass their high school graduate math test, and just talking with, or their English test, and just talking with them for where they were at. No judgment zone, but really just trying to connect with them and let them know, hey, number one, this test doesn't define you, whether you pass or not. You're already great. Second, once you pass this test, because I know you are, I want you to think that you can do more after this. Like, I want you to think beyond this. You don't have to be like, oh, I got my graduate, my high school degree, diploma, and that's it. No, there's more. And I want you to figure it out. Whether you go to technical school or go and be an apprentice or military or college, I want you to see the more. And so I started very young, being able to just share that and to be that light. And I still try to be it.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, as you mentioned, you wrote a whole book about your mother, so I don't want to exclude her at all, but it sounds like you had an extremely wise, well-guided father.
Yeah,
I gotta ask, what was his background? What did he do?
I'll be just completely transparent because he tells his own testimony. He did not graduate from high school. He was self-employed and is self-employed my entire life because of that, because him being a Black man and not having education, if you will, found it via diploma, that he knew that would limit him in the regular workforce. So he began to realize that I can't work in the regular workforce. So I have to come up with a way to where I can still provide for my family and be that, but create my own opportunities and go there. And so for probably about 20 years of my life, he was a mechanic and owned his own business. And then literally it shocked all of us. He was just up and said, I'm not going to be a mechanic anymore. And we were like, well, what are you going to do? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't know yet. And we were like, okay. But he figured it out. He literally, during and, when the market was real high for real estate, he started to work and became a home builder, working with contractors, and did that for a while. And then, when the season shifted again, because seasons change, if you catch me, in life, like we were talking about, cyclical. Right. When the housing market hit and crashed, he had to once again change because the season changed and pivot. And so then he kind of created his own niche. Like, we were like, well, what do you do? But literally this niche that he's created, he makes enough and more to take care of my mom, and my little sister was the last one that was there. But now my niece, the granddaughter, is there with my brother. But whoever is there, they do it. He does enough, and so God works wonders, and he makes little out of much. And so in addition to that, I will say, though, my entire life I've been a PK. If you don't know what a PK is, it's a preacher's kid, a pastor's kid. Okay. So he was a preacher for probably maybe almost 10, 12 years. And then he became a pastor. But yeah, I was like, so now that job, he's had my whole life. He's had that my whole life. And so, that's just been his journey. And I think, I don't think I know this. Both him and my mom, they literally took us out of what most of our family had ever known and said, we want you guys to see the more. And so they exposed us to the more, and they did it with great sacrifice. They took us out of urban schools and they put us into suburban schools where they didn't look at our challenges as cancellations, but they looked at them as opportunities. And we excelled. Like, they had me in special ed in first grade, And I graduated early from high school, top of my class, third row, 10%. But I was that same little girl that they put me in special ed and had canceled me out already. I had already became a statistic. And so it's those type of sacrifices that both my mother and father made and continue to even make. In my health journey right now, and then my little sisters, they sacrifice countlessly still today. And it's not necessarily money, but it's time, it's energy, because they're getting a little bit up in age, they still like mom. I think I told you, like, I literally will collapse because of the health issue I have right now. I literally collapse on the floor, and my mother, I'm not gonna tell her age, but she'll get right down there and try and help pick me up. I'm like, what are you doing? We both gonna end up on the floor, but she's like, well, I'm at least try, and so if if nothing else, the thing I always remember, and the gift and the position and the past and the history, but ultimately was for our future, was that sacrifice. Be willing to be sacrifice. Be willing to put others first. That very thing he taught in us early was because they were doing it already for us. So, yeah, I come from some unordinary background and circumstances, but hey, God made them extraordinary and surpassed what many thought would be our downfall. So I'm grateful.
I've got chills. I wish everybody had parents like your parents, because what they've done, like you said, was not easy.
Mm-mm.
It's not easy to persevere and to stay committed and stay on that path. And look at you. I mean, you have accomplished so much. You're very, very accomplished author. You have multiple degrees. I'm absolutely in love. I'm so glad that you shared all that you shared, because I have to say, out of all the times that I ask, how did your journey begin? Everyone has a powerful story. Everybody has a wonderful story. But yours gave me chills multiple times. And the wisdom that your father was guided to tell you and to instill in you is beyond remarkable, really. So, okay, now 2005, you have a blog, and then that goes to a podcast as things are, the evolution of technology is coming forward, right?
Basically, hey, you got to get on YouTube if you're gonna get your mission out.
Right, exactly. Now, which was the first book that you published?
Mind Matters was the first project, and real quickly, if you're going to ask how did that come to be, it came from a time in my life where I felt like I didn't want to be here. I'll just be honest, I didn't. I felt like there was too many things coming at me, and I couldn't bear it. And so I didn't want to be here anymore. And if I was going to be here, I surely didn't want to get out of my own head and out of my own way. I wanted to be under a pillow, under a blanket, in a dark room, nobody ever come back and ever come bother me again. It was like that. And so when I started to begin to do the work and pull myself out of it with the help of my therapist and counselor, I'm a proponent. You need it, even if there's nothing wrong. Go get a checkup. Just like you get a health checkup, get your mind checkup. But through our work, I started to do the work to get unstuck and get out of my own head and jump back into life. And one of the ways I did that was I started journaling. Mind Matters was just a journal. And I started journaling and just talking about how if anybody was ever stuck, how a person would know how to get unstuck and how to jump back into life. And then if there's anybody that loves them and cares for them and doesn't know what to say or what to do, I want to talk to them as well. And so I wrote this down, but it was just a journal. That was it. And 5 years later, I got that unction, that tap on the shoulder, like, okay, Tanya. God was like, remember that book? I was like, oh, what book? What are you talking about? A book? Yeah, that thing you call a journal. I want you to pull it out, dust it off, go get some deep editing and content revision, and do the work and get it published. That's your first book project, book and journal. And I was like, did I sign up for this? Like, hold on. I was just doing the work to get me back out of my head. And he was like, well, you wrote it to somebody else. You wrote it that way. Like, if you read it, you didn't use I. You used your tense and content was her. Your pronouns were her and she and him. And so I was like, really? I did. And so published the book in the journal, because I was like, I didn't just want to publish a book. I wanted them to do the work, because that's really what counts. You can read a book all day, but when somebody asks you to do the work, things change. And so that was why I decided to make sure I had a journal with it, and the journal came out. So, hey, here's a lovely book about getting out of your head and getting back into life. But, oh, by the way, I'm going to do some slight coaching on the cool, and you're going to get this journal and do some real work. Right. And so that was it. That was the first book project. And I guess apparently I haven't looked back. I don't know.
Wow. So I'm looking through the book right now, the journal. Take us through, because this is fascinating to be able to have a book and then to be able to put pen to paper and really work what you're teaching. That, I think, just blows me away, because so few people do it. So congratulations on putting all that together, because that's just like, that's marketing mastery right there on the business side of it. But then on the spiritual side of it, you're giving a tool for someone to really put what you're saying within their own life, to kind of put it to test, sort of say. But
at an affordable rate, because that was my heart. Like, if somebody can't, I don't know how I was thinking about it when I was young, but I was like, if somebody can't come see me speaking, and I don't even know why I was thinking like this. I want to, and they can't buy my CDs. I just want to give them away. Like, that was back in the day when they had CDs after speaking engagements for sale. But that's what I was thinking in my head, and I don't know why I was thinking like that. But apparently, it started making sense with business, because I was like, okay, my coaching prices could be a little steep for somebody, but a book, affordable coaching.
Right. Absolutely. Because I was just looking at it. So we have it. Let's bring it solo to the screen. So the journal, I mean, it's just under $12, and the book, I think, was about the same.
Yes.
Which is extremely affordable, because how many times do you buy a book and it's at least $30? It's, $35, $40. And here you're getting 2 books. So yes, I completely agree with you. This is a great, great value. What in the journal, what's the first step? And I'm not going to make it go through it like step by step by step. I'm just curious. What is the first working step in the journal?
I don't know for sure. Don't quote me.
Okay.
It's been a minute, but I want to say it's talking about the first steps of getting unstuck. And just doing some of that preliminary work of, why are you even stuck? Like, do you know why you're stuck? Some of that background, and kind of trying to peel back the layers, if you will, of your stuckness, and working your way to kind of looking at why you did it or how you got there. And is that even, is it even a big thing anymore? And if that's not the first step, that might be part 2.
Okay. All right. I find it really interesting is I have a couple of family members that can get stuck in their own head. And it's like externally, the people around them, we see it happening. And there's been a couple of times it's like, you take a moment, breathe, do whatever you need to do that works for you. Because I see you're stuck in your own head. Like, I see all the stuff just whirling around in there. And maybe, you're not making eye contact, or you're not talking, or communication is just totally like gone.
That's a big one. Oh my God, you really hit it when the communication is gone, especially in the day and age we live in, when there's no text message, there's no profile picture change or no post. Like, check on your friends, seriously, especially the strong ones. Check on them. That was my little side note, but I'm throwing it back to you, Elizabeth.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because that's a really strong point. It is true. And we have so many things, especially on social media, that just, it buzzes by so fast that it gets a few months before you're like, wait a minute, I haven't seen anything from so and so. I wonder where they are, where they're at. I like that point. I wanted to spend an extra second talking about that point. And just in my own personal life, and this was such a toxic thing that I was doing, not even realizing I was in my own head. So I would, let's say I'm in a relationship and something's just not quite right. So I'd approach and say, hey, let's talk about this. And we talk about it, try to find, how are we going to fix it? How are we going to adjust and move forward? Second time it happens, hey, can we talk about that again? Maybe we weren't communicating right. By the third time, I'm like, I'm done. And I'm done because I stopped talking. And I'm like, I can't ever get there. How?
You stop talking, but you stay in the relationship. That's even worse.
Exactly.
That's even more hurt and harm you're doing to yourself, because you're not communicating. So really, you're not there. So you're doing a disservice to the other person in the relationship, whether family, friend, or significant other. And you're doing a disservice to yourself, because it takes two. It takes two. Yeah. And so you went silent, and you're not there anymore, but the other person is trying to figure out, well, why or what happened. And so that's when their thoughts, like you said, start to spiraling, and something that didn't even need to ends. Or if it needed to end, it could have happened a better way.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you said what you said about communication is, making sure that you stop by and you check in on those that you care about when they are silent. And when somebody goes silent, like that's louder than words.
Yes.
Now, you had mentioned that you have a mom-inspired book. So your mother inspired one of your books. Which one was it?
It's my second project, and it's called Things My Mama Said. The book is called Just the Things My Mama Said, and then the prayer journal, because that's what we decided to do with this project, is called Things My Mama Said. Mama said there'd be days like this. And so with the book, there's 20 sayings. There's actually a saying. It's not just Mama said for any reason. 20 sayings that she literally said to us and still says to this day. Growing up, there's a story behind one of the times she may have said this to us, and then the life lesson we learned along the way. I tell everybody I got approval from all three of my siblings, so there would not be any controversy, because there's some crazy stories. And I didn't want them to be like, oh my God, she told that one, like, really? So it's a just great book. We literally hear people say they cried, they laughed, they cried again. It's been refreshing for individuals, they say, that have lost their mom or their grandmother, or those special women in their life. And they say that it's really a gem that they hold dear to their heart, because it makes it almost seem like they're back there with them. Right. And they're able to laugh and talk and all, not talk, but you know what I mean, again. Yeah. And so, and then I've also seen it to where, Elizabeth, they've gotten it for their daughter. And like, literally not like, she's not like old. She's a little girl, maybe like 5 or 6 sometimes. And they get it for them so that they can read this book from that echoed their childhood or their life, like something they may not have been able to say. They're like, I want them to read this because this is literally my childhood growing up. This is my life. This is what made me who I am. And so it's just been a beautiful project. And the way it came even about is from my Talking with Tanya family. I call them my fam. It's from them. They were asking me, when are you gonna write a book about your mom? You always talk about your mom and your granny and so many powerful women, but you always talk about your mama. When are you gonna talk about her? When are you gonna write a book? And so I was like, you know what? This might be God. I'm ready. And so that was the second project. That wasn't the project I had slated next or anything, but it was what came out. And my mom loves it, especially when she comes to work with me when I do like speaking engagements or just vending in the community, because she gets to sign too. She gets to autograph the book and the journal as
My
well.
mom would love that too.
She
would be all about that.
gets excited. She was like, hold on, I gotta sign. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, my mom would be like, my name's in that. I need to definitely get my signature on it. I want to bring the
What's her name, Elizabeth? Are you looking at them? You don't recognize that little girl?
Yes. No, I see.
That's me and my mom on the book, and then that's just me on the prayer journal.
That is a beautiful picture. I love that. I love it. And you know what? I have to tell you, what really speaks to me is number 5. Things my mama said. Nobody can hurt you over something you already know about yourself. Oh,
Yep.
true.
Yep. And it's, of course, I guess I could have got a nose job now that I'm, older, but I have a flat nose. This nose is one that, like, I don't have a lot of bridge or anything like that. It's just almost like a button nose. And it's a signature nose. Like, we're very proud of our family history and ancestors that come from my grandmother and on down. And so we call it a McAllister nose. And this nose I'm proud of because of that lineage. And so growing up, kids would try and say, oh, you have a flat nose or you have a round face. And I would be like, okay, like, I'm proud of this nose. Like, you thought you were saying something to hurt me and you didn't. Like, okay, thanks. Now, not everybody may not feel that way, but at the same time, if it's like you have a mole or something, or, because a lot of times it's physical, things about ourselves and nuances that we don't like. And so unless you're going to go get surgery and you're 10, they really can't hurt you about you already knowing the mole that was there. Like, okay, like, thanks. Right. So it was kind of like that. That's the story behind it. It's like, I'm proud of this nose. Like, I'm proud of who I am. What you feel is the bad, what I know is the good, and maybe what somebody may think is the not so pretty and ugly, but that's their opinion. I'm not going to down myself because you feel the need to down me. And that's whether you're 10 or 50. Right. And so that was a part of what she was teaching us, like self-worth, ownership. And then in the middle of that, she threw in legacy and ancestral history. It was just like bam, 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 if you will. So I'm glad you like that one, because that's a big one.
It is a big one. There are so many of some of them I use. I love number 20. Go get you some business and stay up out of mine.
Yes.
I need to get a sign for my kitchen.
Stay up out of grown folks' business. This is how they would say it. Stay out of grown folks' business.
But I need a sign in my kitchen. I put it right over that door that the kids come through every day, and they need to read that.
Yes. And honestly, it's a joke and funny, but it's just respecting your elders. Like, that's something is almost like a ancient thing these days, but it was respecting your elders, being able to know when one person is talking, especially as an elder, wait your turn to talk, and then say whatever it is you say, or ask, can I be a part of the company, but not just assume you have the right to be a part of somebody else's conversation. And that's a whole loaded statement. I felt that, like, that's being a part of somebody else's business and always feeling like you have the right to say something about somebody else. You don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. We don't just have the right to say something just because we feel like we want to say it. That's not fair. That's their life. That's their business. Let's remember that a little bit in America. Let's respect each other, our elders, and let's get us some business and stay out of somebody else's.
Exactly. And I think for mental health, it helps because we can't pick everybody's load up and think that we can carry everybody's load and then our load and our kids and our parents. Like, it doesn't work that way. But yeah, I love that one because my son, he's at that age where they're kind of in between. He's at that 11 turning 12. And so dad and I will be talking about something that happened within a business, and we're talking about employees and this kind of stuff. And he pipes in with questions. And I look at him and I'm like, nacho business. Nacho. And he knows what that means. But it's like, you got to start with that at home.
Yes.
Because we have to know how to respect the elders. And you're right. There's so many times where I've gone to the elementary school and I'm working with these kids, or middle school, and they just don't even know what, I hate to say it, like their place, but it kind of like it is like they don't know where the line of respect and disrespect is.
Yeah.
So I'm totally in love with this book. Okay.
Yeah.
So this book is in my collection extremely soon. As soon as we disconnect, I'm going to Amazon and getting it. Now, you said that there's a working journal with this one too, right?
Yeah, we did a prayer journal for that one. And so my mom, she actually did quite a few of the prayers. She wrote them because I was like, you ought to be able to get some prayers from an actual mom who prayed these things over their children, and what she can share, for another mom now, whether it's their first child and they're scared and they don't know, what to do or say because maybe their mom is gone. This is a resource for them a lot of times. Or it's just, dealing with some teens and not knowing how to navigate those teen years. A lot have said it's literally a resource for them, and they pick it up when they're trying to figure out, how to do life as a mom, how to do it right, how to, even if I make a mistake, still know how to do it well. And so it's prayers for kind of some of them for different things. And then it actually has almost, if you will, a Bible lesson attached to that as well too, with the prayer. So it's been a great project for that aspect of it. That was like a happy surprise. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do a prayer journal. Okay, yeah. Like I was convincing myself at the same time I was saying yeah, not knowing. But it's been a beautiful accompaniment to the book. So happy that we did that one.
There's such beauty in simplicity. And we're taking a look at the table of contents right now for the book, Things My Mama Said Prayer Journal. So this is the journal that goes alongside the book. Mm-hmm. I love the beauty and simplicity where first chapter, fear, and then anger, disgust, sadness, happiness, surprise. Each one is its own chapter. And then how it's broken out is absolutely gorgeous. Where, let's say, so starting on page 88, today is not my day, dishonest day, ungrateful day is the next one, lonely day. Oh my gosh, it's so real, Tanya. It's like, it's so applicable to the human being because it's so real. Did
Thank
you,
you.
you're very welcome. Did you have, how much time did you have to spend trying to figure out what chapter went where and how to organize it all?
Um, I'm a person that have to process it. And so once I started processing it, and that's the strategist in me, I started to kind of roadmap and flow how I wanted, what I wanted to focus on, and then how I wanted to apply that, not just with the prayer, but something else. Like, okay, the prayer is good, but it's something more. And so, like that first initial, like I call it, the talking in your head that you do. Because remember, I was the person that was stuck, so I know a lot about talking in your head. So a lot of what you may not say out loud, I try to address that on the beginning, and then, go into the prayer aspect of it, but still, once again, back it up with some more, like almost like I said, a small Bible study with scriptures and different things like that. But you said realness, and like my heart like leaped, because that's the very thing out of my entire business and what I do, outside of it being looked at as a purpose driven thing, is that it's real, because that's my heart. I really want to make sure that I'm not doing this just for show, or applause, or Facebook likes, or
Right.
Instagram followers. Like, literally, I want to connect with you right where you are at, because I want you to know that you matter.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that the very thing that you're fighting, that you're dealing with, or just like I said, you're scared of, or you don't know, that somebody's been there and you're not alone. Like, I wish I could tell that to so many teens that decide to take their own life.
Mm.
You're not alone.
Mm.
Like, this thing, it's life. It can get busy. It can get crazy. It can be messy, but it can also be beautiful. It can also be giving. It can also be so much more if we don't maximize the minimum.
Right.
If we don't look at the small thing as the biggest thing ever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, thank you for that. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying you. As simple as it is, it's still real and on point and needs to be said. So I thank you, seriously.
Oh, you're very welcome. And you said something so profound right there, where so many people, they're striving for success, they're striving for riches, they're trying to build an empire, and so they grow and grow and grow. And let's say that they meet success, and now they've got the cars, they've got the house, they've got the money, they have the full accounts, and they're not happy.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it's about. It's not about that big picture you're trying to draw over here. It's about all the little things. And as you said, if you don't maximize the little things, that's the spice of life right there. You have another book, Provision, Purpose Validated ×7. What is that one about?
So it's a mini book, and what I mean by ×7, there's literally 7 points that I discuss in it that makes up what I say is the provision for you to be a pro. And you're like, pro? Yeah, because sometimes you forget you're the pro at doing your life. You're the professional.
Right.
Nobody can do your life for you. There's no tag. There's no paying somebody else to do it. You are the only person that is the pro at doing your life. And so, just kind of talk about some of the things or provision that helps remind you of that you are this, and you are this on purpose. Because sometimes in maximizing the minimum, we cancel ourselves out, because we aren't that high school graduate. We aren't that, we are that we are that single mom. We are that business owner that had to file for bankruptcy. We are, this couple that's trying to have kids. Like, we are those things. We are that student that's literally trying to escape being bullied. You know, we are those things. And if we begin to realize that there's another day, it's only if you just win at this day, there will be another one to come after that. There'll be another one after that. But win today.
Mm-hmm.
If you can win today, then there's a future for tomorrow. And so I literally get back to the grassroots of reminding you of that, because the provision is you.
Mm-hmm.
It's you. I'm talking about, yes, 7 things, 7 times how there's provision, but honestly, it's you. You are the pro, and you are the pro in provision. You are the professional in pro. You have what it takes. And so it's just a mini book, you know, but it's quick enough to read, maybe as a daily affirmation, you know, or something like that. But it's long enough to be able to really do the work,
Mm-hmm.
to expound upon your life and go forward in your purpose.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for compiling all of these wonderful stories and these thoughts and creating the books that you've created. You come from such dynamic fiber of a mother who's extremely wise, a father who's extremely wise, and now here you are, and you're helping so many people out there. And in the light of helping people, you have a really nice website that offers your coaching services. So if somebody is watching this and they say, you know what, yes, she's really resonating with me, I want to work with Tanya. Can you take us through the website? And we have it up here live in the broadcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this right here. We do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose.
Yeah, that's the new tagline.
I love that tagline. That says so much in one sentence.
Yep. And it kind of lets you know I'm kind of no nonsense as well.
Right.
Yeah. Like, oh, wait, hold on. But no, all jokes aside, no. If you go onto the website, TanyaJMiller.com, you'll see there is a section of the website that says coaching. And so if you click on coaching, you'll see my little credentials and all that type stuff about me. So you don't think I'm just trying to say I'm a life coach.
Wow.
and where all that certification stuff comes from. But then you'll also see just information about the packages that are offered around coaching. And you'll get to kind of see what may be something you need, or we can customize it, because you may need more, you may need less, but one isn't enough. So you know, we may customize a package, and then if we get a certain amount that are interested but want maybe to split the cost, we will offer group coaching, and we'll do a group coaching session as well. And then if you kind of just want to, you know, browse and kind of see what may be something you want to hit on in coaching, there's also what I call online group coaching, where there's already full-blown courses, where there's videos with me talking on the subject. There's audio, there's presentations that go, and that's all just in one course. And the courses are very affordable. There's actually one that's completely free. So that's also available, and what I kind of call online group coaching at affordable price. And so that's at school.tanyajmiller.com. But we're here to help you. You know, we're here to help you figure it out and figure out how to fit it all together. We're here to help you to see the potential in you, that you have the ability to do not just your life, but the leadership that was within you, how to do that unapologetically on purpose as well. So connect with me, reach out. we're here and available to work with you. Just let us know when you're ready.
Oh, your website is so nice and easy because you have your coaching, you have speaking, you have books. Let's talk about speaking.
Mhm.
Now, as far as the events to come, obviously this would be if someone is interested in having you come and speak,
Mhm.
or the speaking page on your website. Tell me, is that correct? Is that a right thought process there?
Yes, absolutely. That's correct. And that's even, if we haven't contacted or connected via social media, even doing a podcast interview, but a lot of times it's for speaking at a conference or a summit, or coming and doing a speaking series on and leadership classes at not as a strategic level, but more at a organizational development and leadership level. Some of those speaking classes as well are some of the things that you may reach out, whether you're a business, individual, organization, you'll reach out to connect for those, and go from there to kind of see what the needs are and propose with the contract, what the opportunity is that we can do to be of service to who's reached out to us.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's really dynamic. And I love that you are able to get out there and to speak to so many to help them in their path and in their life journey. As far as projects coming into the future, a little birdie told me you might have a fourth book coming out. Is that true?
I have a fourth book project coming out. It's called the Me Project. It's been long awaited, I'll be honest. Um, I shared with you, I've been sick, um, drastically sick. It changed my life and everybody around me completely, up and down. And so the project had been on hold, but I decided to not just hang in there. I decided to choose to live. And so because I'm choosing to live, I'm choosing to be here full force, full throttle. Hey, I'm back. So the book is working on that project to come out, like the final finishing touches that were on hold. And the Me Project, reminding you that it all starts with you. The motivated effort is an inside job, doesn't come from anybody else. That's why it's called motivated effort. It all starts with me. And so excited because so many people forget it doesn't come from anybody else. Nobody can necessarily give you what something that you have to pull from up inside of you, or you have to literally say, okay, until that time happens, you're fighting an uphill battle because you haven't chosen to go anywhere. You're on a treadmill.
Right.
Treadmill. But when you decide to say, I'm doing this, I'm going to let this start with me. I know that I am the effort that motivates me. So because of that, I don't choose to be on the treadmill of life. I choose to be on the steps, the mountains, the dimensions, the levels. That's where I decide to be. I don't decide to just keep going in circles. I decide to propel and go forward. So that's the fourth project. I hope you guys check it out. I'll definitely be information of not pre-signing, pre-launch, and get being able to get the book, possibly even do like a launch team where everybody gets a free copy of the book if they're part of the launch team and different things like that. So we're exploring how we want to release this book project as well in the coming months, weeks.
Well, congratulations on that. So I'm assuming that we can keep a watch on your website of tanyajmiller.com. And you're going to have updates on that release. And congratulations on everything as a whole, which is a really, like, that's all caps congratulations with a couple emojis on the end. That's a big congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
I really, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for your time that you've spent with me today and sharing everything that you have to share. And I am so excited about the things my mama said, the book.
Well, I hope you enjoy it because it sounds like you're already using some of them.
I am.
So you might learn a few more to throw in the mix.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Tanya, thank you so much for your time. You're a friend of mine. You're a friend of the show. And I hope that when the fourth project, the Me Project, is ready to release, hey, let me know. Send me an email, because I'd love to do this again and have you on, and we can talk about it. We can talk about anything else that you have coming in the future. So just reach out. You got my email, you got my number. Reach out, okay?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
All right. We'll see you again soon. Oh my goodness, everybody. I love it. I just love it. I love all the people that I get to meet on the show. This is a huge blessing, and it's really such a passion of mine to have you as fans and viewers of the show, and the beautiful, wonderful, heartfelt guests that we always have on the show. And as always, we are blessed. You are blessed.